Do I think Bethany and Dylan are still close? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I kind of feel like Bethany sort of threw Dylan under the bus. I don't think Steve was harassing a 19-year-old girl. I don't think that was the case. I think he might have been trying to get information out of her. Can you blame him? You know, I don't blame him for that. You're not, it's impossible to think clearly in a situation like that. All you can think about is, he's trying to protect his daughter because he feels like he didn't, right? And that's all he wants to do now. Like, even in death, he wants to protect her. He wants to find out who did it. What makes you think Bethany was throwing Dylan under the bus? Well, Bethany said in her interviews that they didn't call 911 because she told Dylan she thought she was imagining things, which to me suggests that Dylan wanted to call 911, but Bethany was like, girl, like, no, you're imagining things. And so, Bethany's really taken a step back from this case, which is her right, by the way. But I do wonder how much of that is she really doesn't want to discuss the fact that she kind of talked Dylan out of calling 911. Because I really, just based on that, what she said in that document, I think Dylan wanted to call 911 and Bethany talked her out of it and was trying to talk her down. We saw that in the text messages, right? Where she's like, Xana was wearing all black. She was trying to talk Dylan down. And so I think she just, and I also think she's got a lawyer that's saying, stay away from this. You want to distance yourself. Because she doesn't want this defining her for the rest of her life, How do you know Dylan wanted to call 911? Bethany says in the documents they didn't call 911 because she told Dylan that she thought she was imagining things. I'm kind of reading between the lines there. That the calling 911 came up and she told Dylan she thought she was imagining things. Yeah, people are more mad at Dylan than Brian. It's weird. Yeah, you look at the Luigi Mangione case. His family's had said nothing. By the way, I recorded my podcast for next Friday's episode with Jack Fox. He does statement analysis, which is the analysis of the written and spoken word. He has a podcast called Never a Truer Word. Go on to YouTube and follow him. He's also on TikTok. He wants to do more on TikTok, so we're going to try and do some work together. And we analyze Luigi Mangione's writing, his journal entries, the manifesto, his letters. And, we talk about the fact that his family's like nowhere to be found. And it could very well be, right, that they don't want the families. It could be that Luigi doesn't want the family associated. It could be the family making that decision. But make sure you're following Character Analysis on Spotify so that you get the notification, because this is an incredible interview. And at the very end, we talk a little bit about Dylan, because he's also done statement analysis of the 911 call. What's my thoughts on the Luigi case? I think he did it. I think he wanted to get caught. I think he's a narcissist. We go through all of this. Nothing that he says in his writing, he doesn't really explain why he did it. Right? But what's very clear is he's very, very focused on public perception and what people think of him. So I think he did this. I don't know. I think he did it to get attention, to get praise. I don't have a problem. Listen, I think Brian Thompson was a murderer too, just in a different way. I think, you can't just, You can't just let somebody walk. We can't just let someone shoot someone in blood. We can't. It's chaos. But if there were jury nullification, I would not be upset. So, yeah, I think there's some mental illness. There's some narcissism. What I'm frustrated about is that the focus has shifted from our corrupt healthcare system to poor Luigi. And while I do think his rights have been trampled on, fortunately, I'm more concerned about the corrupt healthcare system. No, I don't think Brian was set up. No, I don't think he was working with anybody. He doesn't have the social skills to be able to pull that off at all. How have his rights been violated? Haven't been keeping up on that case. Well, according to Mangione's lawyers, they are saying that his property, his backpack, was seized without being read his Miranda rights. And there just seems to be so much about, well, does he need to have the Miranda rights read? Does he not? It's a lot of back and forth. But these types of, he wrote, it's a habeas corpus. It's a document, basically, where he's, trying to get the backpack thrown out. This is very common, where they're trying to get stuff thrown out. We saw Ann Taylor do it. But I have to say that, that the when the focus is how can we get everything thrown out, that says to me they can't actually, this person is innocent, basically. But I'm not a lawyer. That could be a strategy. I don't know. Do you think Brian's parents knew he talked to them right after and hours every day? I'll tell you, when his mother sent that article to him about Xana, I think she suspected. I think there was something about Xana. And I think she wanted to see how he was going to react. Again, just speculation. So I think over time, she started to wonder, what, especially once the make and model of the car came out. Wait, he changed his plea? No, Luigi's plea has remained not guilty. Do I think he knew her? No. I don't think he had any kind of connection to these victims. I think it was very intentional. Very intentional. He did not want anything coming back to him. I don't think he was obsessed with any one of them. I don't think he was stalking any one of them. I think he was copying Chi Omega, and I think that's why he chose that house. And because that house was so vulnerable. You don't think it was him? Which one, Brian or Luigi? Spain. Whose book is more better and accurate, Patterson or Bloom? They're both neither. Do I think the girls are hiding information? What is there to hide? Do you want to come up, JIS, and we can talk about it? Invitation sent. And I don't mean that in like a confrontational way. Like, what do you mean? Oh, Luigi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I was on my phone in here live and was trying to ask that same question, and my phone died. I'm at the hospital with my son right now.
Oh, are you okay? Is everything okay?
Yeah, he has junior rheumatoid arthritis and has to get infusions every 2 weeks. So.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So the girls, you don't. I guess my look on this as I've been watching everything drop, and I am fairly new. I've not followed the case since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't claim to, and I don't want that put out there.
Mm-hmm.
So as I've been watching the documents drop and everything, I just feel like maybe the girls are hiding what really happened. Dylan says that she supposedly saw him, but her story has changed on different things throughout this.
Like what?
Like, in the one interview, she says that he had a mask on that was like from the nose up. But the other interviews, that was the December 30th of 2022 interview. Here, buddy. You're okay. But then it changed to a ski mask. They showed, I thought that they were leading on that interview, but again, that's just my opinion. But they asked her if she knew Brian, and she said no, she doesn't know anybody from Pennsylvania. So, like, I just feel like there's things that maybe she knows that she's not being truthful about.
She's never changed her story about the mask.
Well, it's now a ski mask, and all she could see was bushy eyebrows.
Well, I don't think she ever. I think she just called it a ski mask because it was like pulled over the head. I don't think she knew what a balaclava. Maybe she didn't know what a balaclava was.
Okay.
But she always maintained that it covered here and here. That's what she has. That's what she consistently maintained.
I guess in the way the December 30th of 2022 interview, she speaks more of it from the nose up, that the mouth was open.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write that down just so that I can go and just double check and see what you're talking about later. Hold on. So the December 30th interview.
Yeah, December 30th of 2022.
Okay. I'll look into that. I'll look that up.
So I mean, there's just little things that, and like I said, I'm at the hospital right now, so my mind is a million places. But there's little things that she has, I guess, not. I feel like not said the whole story, or changed, or throughout listening to her interviews, throughout listening to Bethany's interview. She did call her boyfriend that night and texted him multiple times, but she also says she didn't do it. She didn't talk to him.
Where does it say she spoke to her boyfriend or contacted her boyfriend?
In that same interview. If
The
you
December
listen to that
30th?
interview and you listen to her other interview, and that interrogation was done horrible. It sounded more like a friendly chat between two old friends than an interrogation.
Well, right. The December 30th one, they'd already arrested him. So it was different.
Jen, can you invite 16 Caliber up here?
If she wants to come up, she can.
If she's available. What, baby? Yeah.
Is she here? Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
She said she couldn't see his eyebrows the first time. We just listened to this. And she said she didn't see the color of his eyebrows. Not that she didn't see his eyebrows. Hold on. Let's go back.
She also doesn't know anybody from Pennsylvania, but all of a sudden, as soon as the cop says the name, it's him.
What do you mean? She doesn't know anyone in Pennsylvania, but as soon as she says the name, what?
She straight up told the officer she told the officer that she does not know anybody from Pennsylvania, and she didn't know O'Brien, and I don't know if Jen's available or not.
She can come up if she wants. Yeah, hold on. I sent the invitation.
Well, no, I think, that we are more worried about the fact that you felt the need to screen record a recording and make a video about people when they weren't laughing at Dylan. they were going on about something that was put up and put out. They didn't do it. And then you went that far to make a video and say how horrible these people are. Birdie was, not the people on Jen's panel, 16 Caliber's panel, not any of them. That's Birdie. That's not them. So to make a video about them and call them disgusting and horrible people because they were replaying a video and discussing it.
Hold on. So we were just watching Jules of True Crime Reactions. Her video says, is Dylan Mortensen lying about bushy eyebrows and the masked man? And they play, hold on. They play that part of the interview.
Oh my goodness. Doing deep reviews together, live, listening to what's being said. She says no on 11/13/22 when something that's being. I'm gonna let a couple of these clips play, and you're gonna see for yourselves. This is not something that's being made up. She says no on 11/13/22 when she's speaking to Maury at the Moscow Police Department.
Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Okay.
And then just a few days later, on the 17th, the story changes. Hold on, guys. But before we go any further, I have to introduce you to today's video. There. Give yourself, you didn't even think was happening. So again, curious. Now back to the video.
But it was like a figure of someone wearing all black, and it was like they had the ski mask that was covering their forehead and their chin and mouth. But I could see that all I remember was seeing their eyebrows. And I don't remember what their eyes looked like, but I remember their eyebrows. I don't remember the color of the eyebrows were. I just remember.
Okay. So she doesn't say she doesn't remember seeing the eyebrows. She says she doesn't remember the color of the eyebrows. And there she says that he's wearing a mask that covers forehead, nose, and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And that she can see the eyebrows. Hold on.
Right, but in another... Is that the 11/13 video?
Yes.
That's not her first interview.
The first interview was with Nunes. And then the second interview was with Maury at the police department. And then the third interview was the 17th with Gooch and Blaker. And then I believe there was one more, but I think that was the FBI. And then there was the one on the 30th.
Okay, so you know that there's more than one. But to answer, somebody said, I thought you were new to the case. I am, but I also go live every night. And this case is what we discuss majority of those nights. So I am newer to the case because I have not followed it since day one. And
so the first interview is the body cam. Do you want me to pull up the body cam? That's the first interview. That's when Nunes talks to her. Ooh, sorry. Do you want me to pull that up?
that's up to you.
See you guys in just a few, okay?
Okay.
And he had this mask that was when we bring that back downstairs. Logan and Keely up top. I don't know where they're at now.
Maddie.
Logan. Maddie Mogan and
Maddie Mogan.
Yeah.
And who?
Kaylee Gonzalez. She's the girl that I was talking about, Kaylee, who I just heard her go upstairs and bring that back downstairs.
And the guy that lives here, his name was what? Or he's usually
Ethan.
Ethan. And you knew he was here this morning?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea he was here.
Okay. All right. Describe the guy that you saw.
I don't think he was a little bit taller than me. And I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit. And he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me, like, at all. I just shut the door and locked it, because I didn't know what to do. And I think he went out, like, the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard. And then I didn't know anything else, so I called, I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you, because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie.
Okay. So there she says he was wearing a mask that covered his forehead and his mouth.
Okay. But in the interview, one of the interviews that she did at the station, it changes and then it goes back to that. And I understand she was probably in a state of shock or whatever, because I cannot even put myself in how I would be feeling, what I would be thinking. But if you don't know an answer to a question, instead of making an answer, I'm sure the officers would have understood at that time that right now I can't put words together. I don't know. Like, instead of reaching.
I played the second interview. I played the first interview. I played the second interview. The third is the 17th. The third is with Gooch. That's the hour-long interview. But so far,
Yeah, it's a long interview.
In the first interview, she said she saw him wearing a mask
My
that
husband
covered
was
his.
talking to my son, Jess.
She's wearing he was wearing a mask covering the forehead and his mouth. In the second interview, she said he was wearing a mask that covered his forehead, his mouth, and his nose. And he asked her if she saw what color his eyebrows were, and she said no. And I didn't see I didn't see the color of his eyes either. But she doesn't say she didn't see the eyebrows.
Nose. There's comments about his nose being big or whatever. I'm not going to quote that because right now, like I said, I don't have the exact phrase that she said. And I can send you the video that I'm referring to, so that it is a longer video, so that you can watch it and we can revisit this later on the mask.
Okay, hold on. All right.
The person that you saw in this mug.
This is the third. Oh no, that's December 30th.
So you do think that Brian's guilty? You think that Brian did this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By himself?
Yep.
One person did that much in that short of time?
Ted Bundy raped, strangled, and bludgeoned 4 women in 15 minutes. Well,
On the
he
same
bludgeoned
day.
4,
people
strangled 2,
on
and
the
raped
same
1.
day. 4
What?
people on the same day.
It was 4 people on the same day. He did it in 15 minutes. Chi Omega.
Okay. And how many people did he do beforehand?
What do you mean?
Were those 4 his first?
No, he had practice.
No.
Okay, so unfortunately he had practice in that.
Do you need practice bludgeoning someone? Like,
No, what I'm saying is he had perfected it down to a science, because he was that sick individual, mentally sick individual.
I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. I mean, I think, you know.
Brian's also not Ted Bundy and hadn't, I don't know. If you watch the Costco video of him walking around the store, you could put that person who we know now is autistic, and has
who's like, or level 1, like not.
I'm not saying he's severely autistic, and I do have some background with that because my son is also slightly autistic.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that scenario, and then you have somebody who has committed how many crimes, and we're comparing the two of them.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Yeah, he did just
difference.
comment on that, just because he's the one that asked what her view was, because I came into I wasn't there when she first started talking about this. So yes, he asked me what her view was. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it takes, you're talking about somebody who had a log and somebody who had a K-bar, right? Like Ted Bundy just had a log. He had a club. And Brian Koberger had a K-bar. And it does, I don't know, I don't think it's a practice kind of thing. BTK, 4 victims, first time. I don't think it's a matter of experience, especially when, bludgeoning, strangling, and essaying. That's a lot in a
It is
house
a lot,
that was
and it's a lot
twice
for
the
somebody
size.
to do in that short amount of time, out of the blue, like not some huge like athlete with all kinds of stamina and everything else. Like we're talking about.
Yeah, but Ted Bundy wasn't an athlete.
No, but he had done this. That's what I'm saying. So what if the first one took him an hour and then the second one took him 45 minutes, and by the time he gets to these 4, he's down to 15
But
minutes.
you know what? But he didn't do 4 at once. He'd never done 4 at once.
Who, Ted Bundy?
Right. Not at once.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but I guess my comparison between the two is they're not the same people. They didn't have the same background or anything like that.
Well, Koberger was a runner and a boxer.
That never threw a punch.
Right?
He hiked and he ran. I know that.
Well, he was a boxer. Yeah, I mean that his father put him in boxing.
Where's his fights?
I don't know. He
Trained, but
he was boxing in high school. That's part of how he lost weight, I think.
I don't know that Brian is completely innocent in this. I'm not saying that he's 100% innocent. I'm saying that I think Dylan is hiding the fact that was other people there, and I think that there were more than just him. I'm not saying that because I don't know. I wasn't there, and like I said, I'm new to the case. I'm not saying he's completely innocent. Does that make sense? Because I think everybody in the comments is thinking that I'm like completely innocent, that he is this perfect person. I feel that he pled guilty for this comment because the DP was against him. In a lot of corruption cases with law enforcement and everything, they have you plead to something else. To plead down. So yeah, I did it, and the bargaining tool was they took the DP off. Yes, I feel that there was corruption in this case.
Okay.
Somebody just asked.
Yeah, I think this is probably I think this is a very straightforward case. I think it's just he walked in, these kids were drinking, either asleep or half asleep
There's no way they were
or
asleep.
whatever, and their reaction time was impaired. He had a K-bar. He was twice their size. I think it's just a very, very simple, straight to the point. He went in, he did it, he left. Just like Bundy. And in Bundy's case, one of the sorority sisters was coming home. She heard him coming down the stairs. She saw him leave. She got a glimpse of him. They put her under hypnosis. And what does she remember? His eyebrows. Personally, I think that's kind of weird. That's a very odd coincidence for me.
Yeah,
you too. See you in a second.
But and no forensic evidence other than the bites on one of the victims at Chi Omega. He left no forensic evidence behind.
And there isn't any here. I mean, there was none of his DNA at the crime scene.
Right.
So we're literally going off touch DNA. Let's see. Only thing that supposedly is there is because you can't say for sure that's his car. You cannot say for sure because you don't have a license plate. You didn't see him on the video.
No, but we
So,
do have
how
we
can
do
we
have
say-
we do have footage of the car not having a front license plate. We have seen that. That does exist. Gray Hughes
But
has
there's
it.
how many? Okay, trace DNA, touch DNA, same thing. And how do we know that that was actually on there? How do we know that was actually on there? When he was driving back across the country with his dad, they pulled him over twice. I'm sorry. I think there's corruption. I don't think that this was investigated properly, or even the reports are horrible.
I agree. There's a lot. There's a lot of fuck ups
How do
in
we
those
know
reports.
that they did not lift fingerprints off his driver's license and then say it was on the button?
Because if they had his fingerprint, why wouldn't they just say they had his fingerprint? They said they had no latent fingerprints. Like if they're going to lift his fingerprint, why not just put his fingerprint at the scene?
Because they'd already said that there wasn't any.
But not in the
Jen and I are
beginning. Not in the beginning.
Jen and I
they
are
didn't.
two different crowds. Becky.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. How are you, love?
I'm tired. How are you?
Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm leaving the hospital right now, but
Okay, I just want to say this. I don't know what's going on in this case, but it's very, very strange. I feel like Dylan has had, several different stories as to what happened that night. And this is my question. If you can hear blood-curdling screams coming
I'm going to
from
stop
that
you right
house-
there. We don't have any evidence. We've never heard that there's been blood-curdling screams. We have audio that was enhanced for the press.
I heard it for my own ears.
Right, but if that's audio that's been enhanced.
Okay, well, if you're going to argue that, well, let's go with this then. What about Dylan saying to Detective Gooch, he said, I heard Maddie and Kaylee come home because you can hear everything in that house. How did she not hear her roommates being slaughtered? Give me a break.
But she did hear things, right? She heard someone say someone's here. She heard crying in the bathroom. I mean...
You wouldn't call 911 if you...
Yeah, right.
No.
We wait 8 hours to call 911. You walked past Xana laying on the floor.
Well,
And
we don't know
all of
what
the
she
lights
saw.
were on in
The
that-
door wasn't
in that
fully
house.
open, and Xana, based on the diagram that was released, was kind of like up in the
I will not
like
stop.
in the corner. So we don't really know. We don't know what she saw. We just know based on Bethany said the door was only partially open.
Still, why
Bethany
do you wait
says.
8 hours to call 911?
Bethany says. Dylan.
Even the cops said that there was a cleanup in that house.
No, the cops didn't say that.
Yes, they did.
They absolutely did not.
Yes, they
Brent
did.
Brent Turvey was the expert witness that they were going to call in. And he said, according to this document, he was going to testify that there was direct and indirect evidence of a cleanup. But they never expanded on it. They never said what it was. But he also said that he believed that Xana and Ethan were attacked at the same time and that he believed that multiple people were involved. But he did not say that he didn't think only one person could do it.
Because, I mean, the reality is can one person actually do everything?
Bundy did.
Again, we're talking about somebody that had
BTK did.
multiple
BTK, four victims first time.
Not in 9 minutes. That would be nearly impossible.
Well, I don't know how long it took. I think you're right. I think it took a few hours, but he'd never done it before. But he also didn't have a K-bar.
Supposedly Brian had never done it before. I don't know that he's completely innocent. I'm saying that I believe there were more than just him there, if he was even there. I have a hard time placing him at the house, and I'll say that. I say it every night. I have a very hard time getting Brian to the house. Unless he relapsed and there was rugs involved, and he was going to pick something up or going to drop something off, and something went wrong in that lifestyle. Okay, maybe we can put him there. But I believe that full-heartedly that there was more than just him there.
Okay, that's valid. I mean, obviously I don't agree with it, but that doesn't mean your opinion doesn't count or anything. You know, if there were to be more than one person, I would think that would make it even harder and less likely that forensic evidence wouldn't be left behind. We have that audio, and we don't hear, we don't even hear, we just hear really Xana. We don't hear multiple people. Bethany doesn't say she hears multiple people. Dylan only talks about hearing one person move around the second floor. So where was this other person? You know what I mean?
Why would she tell the cops to? Well, we deep cleaned last weekend, so you're probably not going to find any DNA. That's weird. Why would you say that?
Be a week's worth.
I don't know, because she's trying to be helpful, because her memory isn't great. That's what happens with trauma. Chronologically, things come out of order. You remember things out of order.
But there would have been DNA. That's a week's. If she did it the weekend before,
Uh-huh.
there would have been a week's worth of.
They just had a party there.
And they had a party. There would have been other DNA there.
Okay. Just because we haven't heard of anything else being there, it's a party house. There's tons of people in and out. There could be all kinds of DNA there, but if it's commingled or degraded, they can't use it.
Agreed.
Well, it's a fact that Kaylee and Maddie's blood was mixed with 2 other male DNAs that did not belong to Coburn.
No.
Yes.
No. I'm sorry.
Looked at the frickin' document.
There was only one man's
me.
DNA found on that sheath. Single source. There was only one male DNA found on that sheath. There was in the mixture that they found on the back of the sheath.
I'm not talking about on the sheath.
What are you talking about?
In the house. And there was blood
the handrail and the glove, and that was determined. It was determined that was degraded.
Multiple.
But there was
the handrail and the glove.
Banister.
Right, the handrail is the banister and the glove, and that was determined to have been degraded. It was too old. It predated the murders. This is in the reports.
Tabitha, learn how to spell. There was blood on the 3rd floor banister.
Uh-huh.
That was Maddie's and somebody else's. That was not Koberger's.
Do you remember the document for that? Drafts.
I don't think that Becky's being obnoxious. I think she's trying to have a discussion, and she's trying to go off of the information that is in black and white in the documents.
Okay, hold on. I'm just pulling up the documents. Do you remember what document number they talk about the banister? Em, do you have that by chance? The number of the document from the forensic reports?
Hold on, I'll see if I can grab it real quick.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm in the car now, so I have my phone on the charger. I feel bad that I'm doing this on my husband's account. I don't want to bring him any issues. But, okay. I know I have it in a...
If anyone knows what page I'm looking for, please let me know.
1 second.
Karma, I was just thinking of Heinze.
I'm not trashing victims. I'm just saying I think that the real people that did this should be held accountable.
Well, I think what a lot of people are talking about, and this is something I've heard myself, is I've definitely heard you guys talking about Olivia. I always mess up the last name, so I say Kaylee's sister, Olivia. I have heard you talking about her weight and her body in a very, very unflattering way.
I don't know that we've ever brought that up on my
We've never
You have.
discussed
I have a
that.
We've never
recording of it.
discussed that.
Yeah,
Body
I have a
shaming
recording of it.
a
You have.
victim's sister is not cool.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been me because I don't do that. I wouldn't
Exactly,
want
that's what I'm
somebody to
saying.
body shame me.
Yeah, it has happened. It's unfortunate. I mean, I think that kind of stuff needs to be left out.
Oh, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah. Especially considering like if she's gone through trauma and like how that's going to affect her body and her health and all that. Oh my God, 2,000 pages. I can't. I'm sorry. It's not directed at you. I am.
Nay, I would love to see where somebody on my channel or my page or my whatever has body shamed Olivia.
Yeah, because are you sure it was our group? I mean, there's other people.
Right.
Listen, I appreciate the fact that you guys are up here. You know, very few people want to come up here and have this discussion. So I
I know I can't get anybody to come over and have a discussion with us who thinks opposite.
I mean, that's it's because you guys kind of like run, not you guys, but there's definitely been people in your lives and your comments that want to talk about this that get run out.
I've asked for people to come up.
God damn it. Where is this?
The only time Quinn's really been brought up is over the fact that Dylan did call and text him.
So we know that there were 61.
Last minute, Lisa, I know you're not blocked on mine. I'm trying to find this video. I was seeing if it was in that one. With the document information.
If anybody wants to message Heinze and ask her.
I believe she's in here.
Is Heinze in here? Get the
yeah,
fuck
I think
out
I
of
saw
here.
her name. She said, I've been summoned.
Ah!
And also,
hello, my Schmeeper.
I've been summoned. What's going on?
We're talking about the unknown DNA on the sheath.
No,
All right,
that's
hold on.
on the
The
banister
unknown
on the
male
third
DNA on the
floor.
sheath? Am I not saying that correctly?
Banister on the banister and mixed with Maddie's red stuff.
Oh, okay. Yep. Thank you.
Hold on. Let me get my computer going.
Hold, please. Hold on. Perform presumptive test for the presence of blood on 61 areas from the scene. Second floor leading to second floor bathroom, second floor living room. I mean, second and third floors. Each wall, lowercase, east wall, west side of the half wall, south side of the half wall, the east side of the half wall on the third floor, half wall banister. 41.
Yes, May, I got it. Hold on, I need to wait. Hey, Diane. How you doing today?
$686. I need to remember that. $686.
Good afternoon, beautiful.
Hi, thank you. Oh, you weren't talking to me. Sorry. God. Oh my God. I hate this.
All right, what page am I on here? 262.
Okay.
All right, so I'm on page 262, which is one of the sheaths, specifically on that report, page 2 of 4. We have 1.1, which was the single source DNA profile of Brian. We have 1.4, which is the mixture of Kaylee and Maddie. We have 1.2 and 1.3. 1.2 is a mixture from 3 individuals, at least one of which is male. 1.3 is at least a two-person mixture, one of which is male. So what are we questioning here?
Well, the question that we were looking for has to do with the Maddie's blood on the handrail. But what she's explaining here is
upstairs banister, I believe. It's like not really. It's almost, I think, like a wall, like a
half wall. The half wall. You
All
talking
right,
about?
hold on. Let me find Banister. I was going for sheath first. Okay.
the first suspect that they had in this case was, and I'm sorry, I know I'm a little hot-headed. I'm just passionate about it, I guess, because I've never seen a case like this in my life.
I don't think you've been hot-headed here at all, by the way.
So the DNA, though, that the blood mixture that was found on that sheath, I think they were saying, and I'm not going to say positive, but the first suspect that they had was that Jose Cruz.
No.
No, Showalter was the first suspect.
Yeah.
They followed him. They had him followed to try and get his DNA.
Did he never submit his DNA?
He did Eventually,
And
yes.
fingerprints as well.
Yeah. And his phone.
Yep. And the red stuff in his apartment only came back to him. And the red stuff in Decor's apartment came back to him.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
What about outside of the White's apartments? All that, the red stuff that was found, was that from somebody that said that they cut their hand?
We don't
Cutting
know.
chicken.
Well, I feel like we're getting off topic. Well, like we can
Right.
double check this. But that picture, I don't know where that picture came from. I don't remember it ever coming in a document
It didn't.
or a document drop.
It didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
Rizzo would like to join.
Yeah, I'd like to keep it to us two. You know, keep it
Okay.
even, 2 and 2.
Okay, I have a submitted swab from upper floor banister. That's item 24 on page, specific page. Hold on, where is it? I just had it. Item 24 is on page 707, which of this specific report is page 3 of 5. Item 24 matches that previously obtained from the known reference sample of Madison Mogan. The DNA profile is at least 25.6 octillion times more likely to be seen if Madison Mogan is the source than if an unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is the source. So this is just saying that it is Maddie. Item 30, which is the railing going from floor 1 to floor 2, which is the unknown male B, is assuming a 3-person mixture. So we have a 3-person mixture here. 2 additional unknown individuals are potential contributors to the minor profile. Due to the low-level results and limited data, no conclusions can be made for the minor contributors. And a bunch of redacted are not the major source of the male DNA from that profile.
As well.
So I'm not sure. Do you have an item number that I can look up? Because the upper floor banister that I'm finding here is Maddie. And it's saying that it's more likely to be Maddie than someone who isn't Maddie. Unrelated individual randomly selected is meaning anyone else in the general population.
That concerns the mixture that was under her nails right now. And I believe Becky was grabbing maybe.
I can't look it up because I'm on my phone right now talking to you guys. So
Okay,
let me.
I'll look. I know I have it in both. I
Wait,
have
did
both.
we answer the question about the wall, the half wall, and Maddie? Did we answer that?
I just did the upper floor banister was Maddie.
Okay, so there wasn't any additional DNA?
No, it says it's more likely to be Maddie than an unrelated unknown person. So that's not saying that there's more DNA in there. It's saying that is Maddie.
Got it.
More than likely Maddie versus anyone else in the population.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Mama. Hi. Hi.
I don't have my notebook with me because I said I was at the hospital. I'm leaving right now. I just left. That has like the document information with each thing. I wish I would have brought it. I wasn't planning on doing this.
Caliber, there
You don't
is no
take it-
major
you don't
male
take it with you
profile on the
everywhere?
upper banister that I'm reading. If you're talking about
Oh,
a specific item number, then relay that specific item number so I'm able to read that out. But when I'm reading for the upper floor banister, it is Maddie. There's no major male profile in what I am reading for this specific one. So again, if you have a specific item number, I will go to that specific item number. Otherwise, I'm going to interpret the information as to how you're portraying it to me. That was for item number 30, which I said was the railing going from floor 1 to floor 2, not the upper banister.
What are you doing, honey? Whoa, whoa.
Did we do know that even Ethan's DNA was under Maddie's fingernails as well, right?
No. A likelihood ratio is just that. A likelihood that it could be his, but it's not
Definitive.
confirmed.
Yeah.
If it was anybody out of anyone that they tested, it would most likely be him, but every single person that they put in there is inconclusive. So they do a
Right back.
likelihood ratio to say this is the likelihood ratio of this person, this person, this person, this person. That is not a confirmed match. No, we do not know the male that was under her fingernail. It's misinformation.
It's the
Yes, the document does state that the likelihood ratio is like 3.33 for Ethan, meaning that if it was
right,
anybody,
3.333. You're right.
yeah, if it was anybody out of these people that they tested, it would most likely be him because his likelihood ratio is the highest.
And then there's
But each of those individuals were inconclusive, meaning they were not a match, but they did have a likelihood ratio to say it could be this person based on this ratio. But that is not a confirmed match. That is not a confirmed of this is exactly who it is. A likelihood ratio is not a confirmed match. I don't know where you guys keep getting this stuff, but it's inaccurate.
Okay, let me.
Llama, he was excluded based on the testing ratio of a certain lab, the state's lab. It was inconclusive, not exclusive. And their threshold of it being inclusive or exclusive are different between the two. But he did have a lower likelihood ratio. It was like 0.4 or 0.04, something like that. So his was technically lower of a likelihood ratio than Ethan's. So it is unlikely that is him when you compare it to the rest of the people compared, but it's not. It's inconclusive.
Hold on. Let me look through these documents real quick. I should have been more prepared. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. You know, like you know what I mean. Like you take your son's your priority. You're not expected to be carrying around notebooks and tablets and all that. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. Because some people think that I should have everything like right
No.
now.
It's Heinzie she's made all the spreadsheets.
Right. I know. I appreciate.
You know, she
Right,
just
and I
knows this
appreciate
stuff. She's done so much work on him, huh, Mama? Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I sound cocky. I'm not trying to come down on you or act like I'm better any way, shape, or form. I don't know. That's how I sound sometimes. So I apologize if I'm coming off bitchy. It's not my intention.
Sometimes with a hot head, and I get it.
You'll know when I'm hot-headed. I promise you that. But I do
you
apologize
will.
if I'm
Trust
coming
me.
off bitchy. I'm not trying to. Thank you, LG. Llama, what I was saying was he was excluded based on the defense's lab that they used, and they have a different threshold of inconclusive, conclusive, or, included or excluded, and inconclusive, excuse me. So based on the defense's lab that they used, that was exclusive. Based on the state's lab that was used, that has a different testing threshold, it was inconclusive. And then his likelihood ratio is kind of on the lower end. So like if you compare it to Ethan's, which was 3.33, it would be less likely for BK to be a match versus Ethan when you're comparing the two, but it was still inconclusive, technically speaking. Like when you go to a different lab, they're going to have a different threshold. So let's say anything from like 0 to 100 is inconclusive, whereas a different lab may have, let's say 10 to 100, just to throw out random numbers there. So if we use the 0 to 100, you're going to have a larger inconclusive, I guess, rating in certain tests versus the one that's 10 to 100, if that makes sense. Luna Carmela!
Luna Carmela!
Look at your pink sweater today.
Oh, let me take this off so people can see her.
Wipes him out.
Let's see here. Let's just do this while you're looking at that other stuff.
They didn't, 16 caliber kitten saying they didn't test. Did you just answer that, Heinzie?
What's that? Didn't test what?
The unknown male DNA?
On where are we talking here?
I think the handrail and the glove. Is that what you're talking about? 16 caliber? And the blood at Emily's.
Well, first off, the blood at Emily's has not been in any documents whatsoever. So we don't know when that's from, who it's from, any of that information. If it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be able to answer any questions about that. Thank you, AG. Look at that little guy. That's cute.
Sorry.
No, wait, go ahead.
In one of the documents, Colby's DNA was under Maddie's fingernails as well.
No. That is in the same document that I was describing for a likelihood ratio. Every single person that they put up against it was inconclusive. So they did likelihood ratios. So there was Cole's likelihood ratio. They did Xana. They did Jack Showalter. They did multiple people. All of them, including BK, is inconclusive. There was no, yes, this is a match. No, there was no match. It was, we cannot definitively say, and Cola's including in that. So that is inaccurate. Here, let me just pull up that document because I'm sure I still have it up. That's always a hot topic. Hold, please.
Hold, please.
And I think I just did it right there. Oh.
For the people asking about my ring, it's a fidget ring. I just pinned it below. It's good for my ADHD. It helps when I get overstimulated or if I get triggered. It just helps with the overstimulation, helps channel the excess energy and the hyperactivity in my brain. Did you say you need one of those?
Yeah, does it help?
Oh my God. The rings, yes. Yeah, because it gives your brain something small to focus on. So that's the reason why I'm doing this is we're like talking in like very involved information. Right. I have trouble retaining and processing. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this.
I had a traumatic brain injury, and like I said, that's why I don't know right now to be like, okay, it's this document number on this, and this. That's why I write everything down.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, and it does help quite a bit
in the last 6 months. It's just, I don't know. I need to find something.
I'm going to read this straight from the document. Mm-hmm. This was given to us on March 17th of 25. It's the state's response to defendant's motion eliminate 5 RE inconclusive data. I'm on page 2, the very bottom paragraph. It says, applying those ranges to her likelihood ratio results, in parentheses LR, Miss Miller concluded that it is inconclusive, whether the following persons are potential contributors to item 13.1, which is Maddie's fingernails. Jack Decor was a likelihood ratio of 0.399. Cole Barenberg is a likelihood ratio of 0.485. Ethan Chapin is a likelihood ratio of 3.33. Xander Kernodle is a likelihood ratio of 0.201. And Bethany Funk is a likelihood ratio of 0.233. So what everybody is focusing on is that they're listing all these likelihood ratios, but completely ignore the fact that it says Miss Miller concluded that it is inconclusive whether the following persons are potential contributors. So everyone they're listing after that sentence is inconclusive, not included, not excluded. They're in the middle. They cannot be determined whether it's a match or not a match. So Cole was not found under her fingernails. Ethan was not found under her fingernails. BK was not found under her fingernails. Jack Decor was not found under her fingernails. Xana and Bethany were not found under her fingernails. It is an inconclusive result. They put up a likelihood ratio of if it did include one of these people, this is the likelihood that it is them. And the highest person is that in that list is Ethan, which makes sense because he was quote unquote living in the house unofficially because he stayed there a lot with his girlfriend.
Angelina, I'm still here. I'm sorry. My husband just got home from work, so I was chatting with him.
Right, Kelly. She saw Cole that night, so it's possible. We saw in the footage that Olivia Goncalves shared out that she literally touched a dude's arm. It could literally just be that. But it was 1% of 100% mixture was male DNA. And we don't have a match to that male DNA whatsoever. And for anybody who wants to read it themselves, I'll say it again. This was released on March 17th, so 3/17/2025. It is the state's response to the defendant's motion in limine 5, RE inconclusive data. It's 5 pages. What I just read starts on the very bottom paragraph on page 2 and continues to the top paragraph of page 3. It's all one paragraph, but it got cut in the middle.
Hey, Mama. Here. Hold on. I have a question. What if Maddie hit somebody in the bar or touched somebody? I think Heinze just mentioned she does. She did touch somebody in the bar.
Yes, beautiful life. And if I remember correctly, I don't have the exact timestamp in my mind, but it was roughly 10 to 20 minutes before they left and went to the grub truck. So it is absolutely possible that the person's arm that she touched was the DNA under there.
You're the best.
I guess my question is like, you know, if all of this DNA is unknown, then how can they pin it on just one person? I mean, there's just so many things that don't make sense. And I mean, I'm not even saying maybe BK was involved in some way. I'm not saying that he wasn't. But I don't think if he was involved, I don't think that he did this by himself. And if there's really no other DNA other than like touch DNA, I don't know.
But you're making it sound like there wasn't a significant amount of DNA, that it wasn't a robust profile when it was.
The DNA, the amount of cells that were under Maddie's fingernails was 3 to 4 cells. Not 100, not 1,000, not anything. 3 to 4, okay? And that's 1% of the DNA makeup that was found underneath her nails, okay? Just to put in perspective, from the button snap, we have 100,000 of a single profile male DNA source that was proven to be Brian Koberger, okay? So I can get the argument about, you know, touch DNA and all of these other things, but we're talking about, this isn't just a one-time touch. Okay, this is over 100,000 cells. That's gonna be on just this specific part of it. So it's not a 3 or 4, cell ratio that they're trying to figure out on a multi-source DNA, mix. This is a single source that are getting provided over 100,000 cells. That's a significant amount.
Wouldn't
And
you think though,
they don't always get that big of a sample. That was probably one of the bigger samples that they've seen in a long time per off-room
don't
interview.
you think that if that sheath was found underneath Maddie, that it would have had like more blood on it? Like,
No, not necessarily.
No.
And
Not
it
if it was-
did have red stuff on it, 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
but
it had,
because
it
it's
had what they believe is expirated blood on it.
right. But because it's not completely soaked, it's not enough for some people. And that's just, we can't look at it that way. We don't know exactly where it was placed on her body. We don't know if it was partially covered in the struggle. We don't know any of those things. We just assume because it was found on her that it's going to be completely covered. And that's obviously not the case. But we do know that BK's DNA was found on the button snap where he would have to release the weapon. And we do know that both Maddie and Kaylee's red stuff was found on it as well. And that is maybe not important to some, but that's huge in a case like this.
I
That
want to
sheath
show a
should have
picture.
never
I
been
want to
there.
show. I want to show a picture, and I'm going to give a trigger warning because this is from the Chi Omega crime scene. Okay, so this is of a body. The face is blocked out. So trigger warning. Like, where's the red stuff? Where's the red stuff on the blanket? Where's the red stuff on the curtains? Where's the red stuff? I mean, this is black and white, to be fair. But it looks like the majority of the red stuff was absorbed by the mattress. And he took a club to their heads. So it's not unheard of that, like, the blood would have been absorbed by the blanket and maybe been on the ceiling. Or so if something was, say, down by where the brown comforter meets the white one, then that would explain why the sheath wasn't covered more, because it was found down by her hip. And if you look at all her wounds are all from the chest up.
Right.
You know?
And
So
if you're laying down, right, force of gravity is going to make that go down towards your back. So they were found on their back, right? So if you're getting these injuries on your chest and even in your stomach, the majority of that is going to go down. It's not going to leak towards your feet. You're not standing up. That's not how gravity works. It's going to come out and then go down wherever gravity is pulling that. And I guarantee it was not pulling it towards that sheath. But it's not, and I'm not trying to come at you guys, but I am kind of tired of hearing like this. Some people portray this as a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of DNA. And technically speaking, touch DNA compared to a red stuff sample, the concentration of the DNA is smaller. Absolutely. I will give you that. But when you put in comparison how many cells were actually found, it is a huge amount. Huge. And just to throw out there too, he didn't know the victims anyway, or they didn't have any proven known connection between the victims and BK. So how did his DNA end up at the scene? Along with his car circling around, along with him shutting his phone off at the correct, the right times, along with him not having an alibi, along with him, if he worked with somebody, why were those people not the alternate perpetrators versus people that were already cleared by law enforcement?
what were you saying, JAS?
To be fair, we can't say that's 100% his car.
Well, we can say that the car
disagree on
traveled in
that.
the same path of the phone.
the phone pings off of a tower nearby, whatever. I have a very hard time with that as well, because I can sit in my hometown and 2 hours away be pinging off Cleveland, Ohio. So again, he was in Pullman, Washington, so phones ping off different towers depending on different scenarios. I've proved it myself where I'm in Pennsylvania and my phone's pinging in Cleveland, Ohio.
Right, but they most likely looked at other nights, right, to see, okay, because they would have to compare it. They would be like, okay, so we're seeing this, but now we have to take a look at other nights. Is this a pattern? Has this happened before? Is this a one-time thing?
Right.
You see what I mean? And I would assume, and I'm assuming here, that they determined that this was sort of a one time, like that when his phone moved and pinged off those towers, it was because he was in his car going somewhere. So the
Right,
car
and
and the phone going on the same path, right? I don't think that's a coincidence. And I think it happened more than once.
Leaving his house before, and then phone shuts off at, that just conveniently, which is not a pattern for him whatsoever. And then it conveniently turns on, and I'll give you the phone pings that can mess up sometimes, but then you have him on camera going back, just coincidentally around the same time after everything happened. Like, I don't know.
I see what you're saying, and I completely can.
And they both conveniently don't have a front license plate, and they both conveniently are the same, the same years that we're looking at, and convenient, you know what I mean? It's just, there's too many coincidences for it not to be.
But,
and quite frankly, there's no evidence that it was anybody else's.
Because the car seen on the video is going around. Again, how can we 100% say that is his car? Because there's no front license plate?
Well, there's no front license plate. It's also following the path of the car, of the phone. And it also, I mean, can you say definitively no? I think people don't understand. There are a lot of cases that are convicted based on circumstantial evidence, even where they can't put the suspect at the scene of the crime. So the chances, you're asking, oh, sorry, honey. You're asking people to suspend their disbelief that not only does he drive a car that looked like the one circling the house, but his phone number was following the path of the car that same night, that the car didn't have a front license plate, and most importantly, because remember this, when they first identified his Elantra, they ran the plates, got the traffic stops, got his phone number that they gave him, and they ran that phone number against a cell tower dump of numbers that were in the area, in the vicinity that night. And his phone was not connected to any network during the time of the murders. So you've got all these things, especially the phone being turned off when historically he didn't turn his phone off. So you've got all these things, and it just builds and builds and builds, The gift card that bought the K-bar, the trying to delete his Amazon history, the
scrubbing of his computer,
the scrubbing of his devices. And I think that's the frustrating part of these lives is the evidence is never brought up. It's like it doesn't exist.
Right. Well, I just want to say something, like when all of this first happened back in 2022, I completely thought he was guilty. I am not a conspiracy theorist at all. But then the more that stuff started coming out, I was like, something about this doesn't sound right.
What doesn't sound right?
I'm here. I have to mute for a second.
What doesn't sound right, Becky?
Oh gosh, you're asking me to go back to 3 years ago. My memory's not that great. I don't know, just because people started saying stuff, about the DNA and that it was a different car that was there. And and then something came out about the Dateline episode that was on, how something on there was leaked. And I guess whatever they reported on wasn't true.
Some was factual, some was not factual.
Yeah, I think him sitting down in a chair or something
Yeah,
like
that
that.
was not factual.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you based your opinion not on official information, but on rumors.
Right.
Like, what came from court documents that
Well,
made you go?
the documents and stuff like that, the more the documents started coming out, I was like, did somebody else do this? Was he involved? Was,
But
was
based
he
on
involved
what?
in the documents? But you're asking me to go back, and I'm like, I can't. I have a very bad memory. I would have to go and pull some of them to probably point things out to you.
Okay.
But yeah, I totally thought he was guilty of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd be willing to sit up and alive when you guys are more prepared and go document for document, spreadsheet for spreadsheet. I've been asking for it for a while, since a certain side had mentioned that the spreadsheet that I work on hacked them, which was completely false yet again. But nobody wants to retract that statement. I've been asking for it for a while. I will absolutely sit up there, document for document. We can go through it together, and anything that you guys want when you guys are more prepared.
I have as well been asking for somebody that fully thinks that this is done properly and the right way, and that he is guilty 100% by himself, to come up. Like I said when I first came, you weren't here, so you probably don't know this. I just left Children's Hospital with my son, so I don't have everything with me in front of me.
BWB, I don't know.
And I hope your son is okay. I'm sorry that you had to
He has junior rheumatoid arthritis. We do this every 2 weeks for infusions. He's a little champ.
Well, I hope he's feeling better after the infusion then.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
thank
You guys are going through that.
That's priority.
But
Always.
when
absolutely.
I get home, I go live every night between 9 and 10 usually, unless something comes up, and then it's a little bit later. I can have everything ready if you would like to come over.
I mean, what is today? Thursday? I will probably not be available tonight.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, I'm live every night, so it doesn't matter when. That'll give me time to have everything. I can come back over here. I don't have a problem being over here. Yes, I am. I'm on my husband's phone right now. I said that earlier. My phone died in the hospital. So when I started this conversation with her, I was not on my phone.
I see people in the comments being snarky, and listen, I gotta say, you hear me. I'm always like, come on up in the box, come on up in the box. These two broads had the balls to come up in the box, and I think we need to appreciate that. Because this is how dialogues start, right?
I've been asking for this for months.
I'm talking about you two, Heinz. You're a broad too, and you got up in the box. So let's not be snarky, please. Like, I appreciate that they took the time. I mean, she's with her son who's in the hospital getting a transfusion.
Right.
And she still put herself in this position. You gotta give someone credit for that. Right, Mama?
And I'm not going to knock that, and I agree with character. We got to give credit where credit is due. I know I've been asking for it for months.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And yeah, the person asking, this isn't a wedding band.
I am I'm very, very tired today. I didn't sleep well last night. I am also very sick. So if given the opportunity to go through the documents, I would love to have another conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
in.
Like I'm happy to do it here on a time that where it's just like the four of us, or you guys choose. I'm not going to have this like box of 8 or 9 people. I want it really organized. And I think Heinze, anytime, if you have another day that you'd rather do it, absolutely, let me know. I would love it.
Okay.
I think it would be really interesting.
And I agree with that. And I think that maybe that's when things are a little bit calmer. For me, at least, I'm going to speak for myself. Maybe I shouldn't have even commented or come up because I was not prepared to. But
I think it's been great. I think you've done great. I think Becky
Yeah.
did great. This has been a great conversation. You haven't been a bunch of defensive dicks. You were just like, okay, right? Like you're taking it in, you're making mental notes, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go back and get the documents about what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
think
will.
you've been great.
For sure.
Like, let's do this.
All right, and I hope you don't take
Let
me
the
coming
healing
off as a
begin,
dick
people.
because I'm what I'm trying to do is the points that you guys are bringing up. I'm pulling up the documents to read from them
I
right
don't
away.
think
So
that
I hope you guys don't take that as a lot of people hate that. Right?
I appreciate that there's somebody or a couple people that are willing to be on the other side and talk through this and talk what I see or what I think off of the documents. And I don't think that you've been a dick or horrible or mean or anything.
And I don't know, I tried pulling up the sheath stuff that we started talking about versus the banister. I want you guys to find what item number you guys are pertaining to for that, because I'd like to reread that.
I would love to know what you guys think about the Door Dasher. Molly, do you think that she was a confidential informant?
No.
Why'd she tell that cop that then that one night at the hospital? Did you guys see that video?
Did she say she was an informant, or did she say she was a witness?
Oh, wait, yeah, it was a witness.
Yeah, I remember it being a witness.
Okay.
To which she wasn't wrong. She was a witness for sure.
Mm-hmm. I am gonna say I question her. I'm not 100% on her.
Me either.
I'm not 100%.
She's definitely like well, I don't know, it's just like if you're into rugs and like that's what you're doing for life and you're living, I gotta kind of question somebody like that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, especially women, they're forced into it by, say, pimps and things like that. So let's just be mindful of that, And sometimes it's the only way they have to pay their bills or take care of their kids, or it's a lot. Not as I don't know.
What did she say? Like she said something that I thought, oh my gosh. She said something about she thought somebody was in a hammock in the bathroom. I was like, why would somebody have a hammock in their bathroom?
I don't know how she can even see that.
I was gonna say I've seen crazier shit, but
No.
I don't know.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She just said she kept seeing somebody like bobbing up and down, like in that third floor bathroom. And I was like, I don't know. But yeah, like you said, I don't know if we can trust anything she has to say.
But keep in mind, so what was that, like around 10 of 4? Like 4 a.m.-ish, between, like around then? Remember, they did find blood on the upper casing of the bathroom door, right? It's very possible Kaylee came out of the bathroom because she was in the bathroom. And, so, I don't know. It's possible. It's just, I don't know how she could see into that window from all the way down on the street.
Hey, I'm not making fun of her. I'm just stating, you know, what's out there already about her. I'm not making fun of her,
I don't think she was pertaining that to you. We see some people really going in on her. So I don't think that was towards you.
I'm just saying I don't know how like trustworthy she is.
And I have to say, I kind of agree with that.
Well, right. In the interview that you're pertaining to, she was picked up for being high, intoxicated while driving, right?
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not knocking her. Everybody's got to survive somehow, but that's also how many years and months later, right? And also she seemed a little bit stoned.
Just a wee bit.
Say it nicely.
Right.
She seemed what?
Stoned.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't remember who those two cops were that met her. The one where she came out of the hospital, like the ER or something that night? I think that she had gotten maybe a DUI or something, and they had to do that blood test. Did you see that one?
That's the one that I think I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they said they told her it would take like 18 months to get the blood work back. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense. They said, so you might get charged with something or you might not. Basically, I'm like, okay.
That is a good question. Why do people claim Bethany wasn't there? Do you know what that's about?
I think she was there.
I just recently saw that where people are speculating actually Bethany and Dylan weren't there, that they were somewhere else until like 7 a.m. So I don't have any information on that.
I wonder too, like, because I think maybe like when the police first showed up, that you could see Bethany walking from maybe it looked like the Whites over, but she could have just been outside or something with, I don't know. She might have been out there waiting for Hunter and Emily to come. Because they called them, you remember? But I'm wondering, but it also says in the reports that they were down in Bethany's room.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I also believe Hunter touches on that in his interview as well. He states that he has to put in door code and go to her room, go to Bethany's room. Richard, they were at a hotel after everything happened. They all stayed at a hotel. But again, that was after. They couldn't go back to the house, obviously. So they were put up in a hotel, but that wasn't, I believe that was Sunday night. I don't know exact time. I don't know check-in and whatnot, obviously, but yeah, they were at a hotel that night, the night after everything went down. Yeah, not Saturday night, Sunday night they were.
I knew that they all had went to a hotel after everything had happened.
Yep, right.
As far as Bethany goes, didn't Bethany say she wasn't feeling good or something? I don't even know if she went out that night.
I believe she went out for a while. The morning after, she was reaching her father about a toothache that morning. So she called her dad. He told her to take ibuprofen or something, I believe. And then she went back to sleep for a short while. And then when she woke up, that's when they got a hold of Hunter and Emily. And then they came over.
Jenny, did you mean to come up? All right.
I mean, one thing that I do like really hate for the families is like You know, they're basically getting all these documents that are dropping the same time as the public, and I don't think that's fair.
I can agree with that.
I mean, I feel like they were kept in the dark so much, like not knowing what was happening.
I think that.
And I will say too, I don't fault the courts for doing that, or the law enforcement. We see that a lot when they're investigating these things. They don't let the families know. And no knock towards Steve or Christy or anything like that when I say this, but they were so vocal. It doesn't shock me even more that they didn't share certain information because they didn't want it to get out for the integrity of the case. Now that we have a confession and all of these other things, I don't think they should be getting anything at the same time as us. I think they should be getting it first. Wholeheartedly agree. But even without the gag order, pertaining to the investigation and pertaining to some of the stuff going on for like the back and forth documents and motions and all of these other things, I can understand because they were very vocal and they do have to keep some integrity to the case. But now there's no reason for it.
They should have got the documents before the public.
I agree. 100% agree.
I feel like they should have had time to process that.
Absolutely agree. 1,000,000%.
They don't want anything to do with it. They don't even want to read the documents.
Right.
You know, and that's okay. That's just the way they're choosing to grieve, and that's fine.
Yeah, completely agree.
Well, I think I'm going to end this live. This has been because I want to be able to get it up on my Patreon tonight and on YouTube tonight, and this is going to take a while to process. So, guys, JAS and Becky, thank you so much for coming up. LG, I love you too, and tell us when you'd like to come up again, and we'll have the documents out, and we'll just kind of do a study group.
I know.
I'll send you a message. It'll be from my profile, not my husband's, and we'll get together and plan something.
Okay. Who's your husband?
Yeah. Huh?
Who's your husband?
This account that I'm on is my husband's account. My phone died while it was in the hospital, so my account is ChatGPT.
Oh, okay. Now I know who you are. Got it. All right, cool. Yeah. Let's have a little study group. I'll bring the muffins, and we'll just hash things out and talk.
I do just want to add one thing. We do on this side, and I'm only saying this side and your side just because we have different views, okay? I'm not trying to throw shade on that. But on this side, I do have quite a few people contacting me for document access because they're overseas and they can't get it. I do have it made so it's a PDF file versus a just the regular like link or whatever to the Idaho internet page. I do have a PDF file. If anybody from your guys' side wants to see the documents, needs to see the documents, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. I will get that to them, no problem, so that they're able to see. I know personally, I like to say which document I'm reading, what page, and all of these other things. So like when people want to follow along, if anybody from your side needs that or wants that, send them my way. I have no issue sharing that out.
Because I would have to go in and like click on the link, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's because it's a PDF file, it's kind of set up a little weird, right? So the links for each document is at like the end versus what we see when we pull up this page or whatever. We can just click on it right there. So like it'll say the name of the document and then the link is at the very end as well as the date that it was released. So it does look a little bit different for them, but if anybody needs it, I absolutely have that, and they're welcome to it at any time.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you guys for coming up, and thank you for not thinking I was coming up here being a complete bitch, because that was not my intention. It's just how I talk sometimes, but I appreciate the conversation, and I hope that we can do this doc for doc thing, because I'd love to go through it with y'all.
Yeah, I would love to do it too.
Well, thank you for letting me come up. I appreciate that.
Of course.
And thank
And
you.
once it goes up on my Patreon, I'll send you guys a link.
Okay, perfect.
Okie dokie.
All
And I
right.
hope you have a good night, ChatGPT. And I hope
You
you know
too.
you and your son have a good night.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.